My name is Dave Ferris. I want to do a quick overview of using LibreOffice Draw to create flowcharts. This is free software and it works every bit as well as Visio. So LibreOffice Draw is free and it works great. So I'm showing you a flowchart right here on screen I made using LibreOffice Draw. I'm going to just go over all the features of the program or all the settings I have here. I'm just going to go clockwise starting at 9 o'clock. First, I do want to tell you, when you use LibreOffice Draw, when you first install it, it's not going to look like this because I've customized all of these different settings here, all these different functions, and it's really easy to customize. Just go to Tools, just click on Tools, and go to Customize. And you see here you have all your commands, and you can move things over onto the right, onto the different menus and move them up and down. I'm not going to change anything here because it took me a long time to get that set up. So I'm just showing you this is where you'll want to go because you want to change. You don't want to change the defaults. Aren't set up for creating flowcharts, but all the functions you need are there. So we're going to close that. So I'm just going to start here, going left. This is the pages list, just like in PowerPoint. And you can click in here and right click if you want to create a new page, have multiple pages. Before that, I want to show you something else right in the main page. One of the things I always do when I use flowcharting software is this. I change the layout of the page to be landscape. So on this one, I just right click and I'll do properties. This gives me the page properties, and I just set it for landscape. And I set legal because I'm not printing anything. No, I haven't printed anything in 15 years. We're not printing flowcharts. So you want to visualize a flowchart. You want to put it on a web page or something. Or legal is great. You can fit a lot of stuff on there. And also, since you're not printing, you don't really need margins. So you take out all the margins. It gives you more space. So that's what I always do. I set legal, landscape, and I take out the margins. Another thing I do if I'm working on flowcharts, I want to see the grid. So I right click on the page and I see grids and help lines. And I display the grid. And another thing I like to have, and I want to show you, watch when I move this circle around here. Oh, I changed the size of it. I didn't quite grab it quite. Okay, now I'm moving it around. You see how I move it around? I'm going to turn on another feature here. I want to right click, grids and help lines, and help lines while moving. Love that. Now, when I move this circle connector, see I get these horizontal and vertical help lines to line things up. Because of how I created this flowchart, I did not quite put it, I guess, on the correct axis or something. So I can align this to make this look perfect again. I just click on that one, shift, and click on the other one. And I use my alignment tool to center it. And now it's straight, just like in Visio. All right. That's the main page. Landscape, legal. And I just showed you these. These are where you have multiple pages and you can hide this and you can show it. And you have this menu, this list of commands here, list of tools, I guess list of tools. Those are the draw functions. You see up here on the right hand side, if I click on that, those go away. I click it on again, they come back. I don't really care about all of these. Mostly I care about this one here. This is the flowchart symbol. So I have my alternative. Mostly I care about diamonds and, let's see, I care about diamonds. 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 And, let's see, connectors, and terminators. I'm gonna make a terminator. Terminators are kind of like rounded rectangles. So those are important. I want to show you something else too. Something else I do when I set these up. I take all the padding out of these cells. So here's a terminator I just put in there. And if I go up here and click on Format and Text, you'll see I turned on the word wrap and I took the spacing to the borders, so how far the text is going to be from the borders. And I could have put it smaller, 0.02, 02, 01, 01. And I'll show you the difference here. Now I'm going to just cancel that. I've already saved this as a template. I made a bunch of changes and I saved it. So every time I create a flowchart, let me click a text here. Every time I created the old gray fox, I don't know, is that something people type? Runs around the barn. How's that? Barn. All right. You see what I did? It word wrapped, and it's going pretty close to the edges. Now these, like I said, the shapes over here, and this is the shapes for the flowchart shapes. You know, I have diamonds, I have terminators. If you hover over it, it tells you what they are. You have rectangles. All right. I'm going to go over here on the right side to the gallery and click on that. And I'm going to go down to flowcharts. And I'm going to go down to Terminator. Yeah. Start in. Okay, that's a Terminator. And I think I just dragged these over. Okay, so this is a Terminator also. But this is not formatted. So if I click in there. And I'll type the old gray fox runs around the barn. Yeah, it just keeps going straight. So what you need to do is highlight it, go to Format, and go to Text. And turn the word wrap on, and then take all these take all the cell padding out. Maybe I'll just go to 0, 0. Well, I guess I could have just gone minuses. And then say OK. And now I have one similar. So my point is the shapes over here under flowchart, they originally were just like the ones on the gallery. They had a bunch of padding in them, which is a waste of space, and they weren't set to word wrap. But once you set the ones on the left to word wrap and take out the padding, they'll be like that every time you pull one out. So you won't have to be changing that all the time. So I'm just going to delete that. And I'm going to delete that. Looks like I spelled gray wrong. All right. What else is over here on the left? I got my flowcharts, symbols, shapes. I got other shapes. I could get flowchart shapes here also, but this one has what I need. Rectangles, diamonds, terminators. And I got arrows and connectors. So let me just put two shapes out here. I'll put a rectangle. Let me put another rectangle. So if I wanted to connect them, I would use a a connector, and I would use this one. That's the default one. I want one with an arrow, and I just click on the left, drag it to the one on the right, and I have an arrow connecting them. So if I drag this, the arrow's going to stay with it. This is a real flow charting. Arrows follow it around. If I want to make these even again, I have this one highlighted. So I hold the shift key and click the other one and use this alignment button up here. And now they're lined up and it's straight. What else is over here on the left that I care about? Those are really the only two. I have my line color here. If I wanted to change my line color, and it's just naturally part of this. So there I just changed it to blue. I could change it to another. I could change it to red. I don't really use this one right there though, because I got it up at the top also. So that's changing line colors. Moving on. Yeah, you can fill a cell here also if I wanted to fill my cells with different colors. Okay, now up here to these menu items I've added. So this is save, and that's undo and redo. Okay, these ones I added here. I like to zoom. So these were not default settings up here. These were not on the menu. I added them all. I've removed a bunch of stuff. I like to zoom in. I can zoom in. I like to zoom out. I like to set the page to the default size or fit the page. So I have this one here, entire page. I'm going to get rid of this panel on the right, so I can click that. I got it. Another button I like up here is I have a shift. So if I click that, see it's highlighted now. Now I can just click on the page and move it around if I wanted to. Don't get dizzy. And I click it, and I got my normal pointer again. This is to add a table. I probably wouldn't use this to add a table. If you clicked it, it shows you can set the size of the table. Personally, if I was going to add a table, I would probably just do it in the spreadsheet program and copy and paste it in here, because these it's kind of big. If I'm using a table, I don't really want a table. I want a spreadsheet table. This is where you add images. So I click here and insert an image. Pull one in there. You can also just drag and drop. I think you can drag and drop an image. Here's your text box. So if I click here and just click and drag, there's my wording. I set my default to 10 points. It's kind of small, but that's what I use inside my flowcharts. So, but I put this font size thing right here so I can change font sizes easily, and I can make it bold easily. These controls were not default either. Or I can underline it. That's pretty much all I'm going to do is change the size. I can change the font color here. When you first use this and you see that these controls aren't just right up there, it kind of surprises you, and you're like, damn, how am I supposed to use this thing? But it's really easy to customize it and put everything up here where you need it. I can make fonts bigger or smaller using the up and down like this. And I like to left justify things, and I like to center justify things. I did not put right justify because I really don't right justify things. And again, I have the line color here, which it's not a line, so it doesn't matter. Let me click on the line here. There's a line. And I can change the line color. Let's make it red. Let's make it purple. And I also put this up here so I can change the thickness of a line. So I'm going to see if I can use my undo and get this back to normal looking. And it's black again. All right, and hyperlinks. I like to be able to put a hyperlink on a page. So I put a link to my page, ferrisquality.com, and then I inserted a hyperlink. What was that? Guess I would have to highlight the whole thing. I don't know if I can edit the hyperlink. Oh, there it is. I actually already had a hyperlink in here, so I guess I don't know how to edit one. But I will put it in there again. And I have the size and position, and you can use that on a box. So if you want to make all your boxes the same size, which is useful, like this is like 1.38 inches, so that's probably not great. I just kind of put these boxes up there. But if you wanted to make them all equal size, so it look real professional, you can control that there. And again, here's your alignment. So if I want to align, let me move one of these out of kilter here. I'll move that one up a little bit. If I wanted to align all of these, I'll start with this one. And hold the shift key and just click each of the boxes on the way. And click that. Yep, and everything's lined up again. And it works the same way. You can line things up vertically also. And then the last one you have here is, I think this is bring to front, send to back. Yeah, you can send things up, down, in layers. Last thing I want to go over, well, one more, I guess there's two things. I'm going to go ahead and open this panel here again. One thing is kind of cool here. If I click on something, so I highlight this box here, this thing right here, this is the settings, the properties for that one thing you're looking at. So I click on it, you can change the spacing, the paragraph, the font. So this is how I figured out. This is a way to get to all the settings. Change the font, and the slider bar here. Shadow, position and size. You can rotate things. You can do your front, back, alignment. So all your controls are right here under this blue properties button. So that's real handy. And then the last thing, I guess I got two more things I'm going to show you. I highlighted that, didn't I? I guess I didn't highlight it. All right, I just want to delete that. These at the bottom here, you have these layers. You have layout, controls, and dimension lines. Basically, when you make a flowchart, it's in the everything's in this layout layer. But what's cool, you can make multiple layers. These three you can't delete, but you can add layers. So if I just right-click down here, I can say I can insert a layer and name it layer 4. That's fine. And what's cool, if you use graphics programs, you know, you have a different layer. You can modify things on that layer. So I can draw boxes on this layer. Now you can hide layers and you can lock layers. Modify the layer. Oh, there you go. Just right click on modify it. So if I lock it, that layer won't move, and I can make it visible or invisible. So if I say this is not visible anymore, then all I have is this other layer. If I make this one, modify this layer, I'll make this one invisible. Well, I don't have any visible layers. I'll go back to my main layer. Why is this important? thing is, the reason this is important is if I wanted to make a, say I wanted to make a swim lane diagram, I'm going to leave this invisible. I'll tell you what. If I want to make a swim lane diagram, I can make another layer, or I could have made my first layer of the swim lane diagram. I'm going to modify this. I'll make it visible again. This is kind of cool. I want to get rid of that. And I'm going to go over here to the gallery. In this flowchart listing here, I have swim lane diagrams. Look at that. I really like swim lane diagrams. So here's a nice colored one. And I think I just dragged it over there. Right now it's not all grouped. I think I can shape group. I'm going to group everything. That way I think I can drag it, change the size of it. Yeah, it all went together. Anyway, if you know how to use swim lane diagrams, by doing it like this, I can position this on a page, and then I could put a flowchart on top of it. I could take this page, once I got my swim lane in place, I could modify this, and I could lock it. So this layer is locked. And I can make another layer. I don't care, layer 5 works. And then I could go over here to my flowchart shapes and drag over a terminator. Well, I don't drag it, I just click on it and then here's my terminator, and then I can put a process box over here. And I can put a process box in another lane. And I put a diamond. I can link them together. I would probably, I gotta click that again. Click that again. All right, there you go. I think that shows how easy it is to make a swim lane diagram also. One last thing. Once you get everything set up like you want, which would be like without these, you can delete these layers. You can't delete the you can't delete these layers over here that are default here. Let's make this visible again. Modify layer, make it visible. Once you got all your cell padding like you like it, and you got all your menu items and your ribbon controls and commands, you can't change the ones on the left here. Those well, maybe you can, but I can't. You can just make that go away and come back. But the ones on the top, you can change all these. Oh, one more thing. This is a highlighting. Now, there's a reason why highlighting is important. When you put words on top of lines, if you don't have it highlighted, so I'm going to see how I have that word south there. I'm just cutting my grass. I have to cut the south or the north side. If I don't have a highlight set on there, let's take the no fill on the highlight. Okay, you see the line? The arrow line goes right through the word south, so you can't read it. So I take those and I use the highlighter and I highlight them white, and then you can, just like in Visio, you can read the word you put on the arrow. last thing, you get everything set like you want. You can even have it with a flowchart up there, but you probably want to get all your boxes like you want, and then you want to just delete everything from the page. Well, you want to save your flowchart. Save your flowchart. This is going to save them as an ODF, or is it ODF? I'll save as. I could get save as from the save menu also. That's save, that red arrow. If I click on the beside it, I can say save as. And I can export it as a PDF or as an image for use on web pages. If I do a save as here, ODG, that's what these are. That's the format. You can actually open old style Visio files with this, also VSD files. You can open it with this. Anyway, once you've saved your file and you want to not have to go through and modify all your settings every time you use it, you can make a template. So I know I have everything set like I like it. I just highlighted and deleted that page. You can just hit the delete key. Then you can set your template. So just go templates, save as template, and I put it under my templates. I've already done this once, twice. I'll call it flowcharts. And set this as your default template, and then save. All right. So every time you open LibreOffice Draw, no, I do not want to save my flowchart there. Every time you open LibreOffice Draw, don't save. I don't want to overwrite my flowchart on cutting the wrap. Every time you open LibreOffice Draw, and I have it on a panel here, but it's going to come up over here. Every time you open it, it's going to come up in that template. So it's going to come up with my padding for my shapes like I liked them. And you can see there's a lot of other stuff over here on the right, arrows. There's a lot of nice stuff here, and you can even add to these from the websites, from the internet. So there you go. You can definitely use LibreOffice Draw to do professional flowcharts. We'll open it again. Recent documents. Cutting the grass. Probably could have zoomed in on this for you. Creating flowcharts with LibreOffice Draw. All right, I'll shut up now. Thanks.